Hello there, Shield Wall Nation. This video is going to be about how to deal with that problematic friend or family member when you're trying to prepare for the SHTF. So before I even get into this video, make sure you go down below, like, subscribe, comment, share, and make sure you hit that bell notification icon as well so you know when I put out a video and you can be one of the first ones to actually watch it. So let's get into this. So it's hard to explain to people, whether that's friends or family, of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to prepare for. Whether that's a natural disaster, an economic downfall, an attack from a foreign nation, whatever it may be, it's hard to explain to them. A lot of them will actually think you're probably a nut job, you're crazy, why would you do that, nothing bad's gonna happen, so on and so forth. And I hope they're right. I hope they're absolutely right that nothing in our entire lifetime or our children's lifetime will ever happen. But we can never be too sure, and that's why we do it. We prepare. We are preparing for those things. For the SHTF, or the TEOTWAWKI, however you want to pronounce it, the end of the world as we know it. This is what we prepare for. But there's, like I said, those people that are not quite like-minded as us. And sometimes they have a negative effect. And I'm not going to be talking about how to convince them. I'm just talking about how to deal with them. And one way can be just breaking it down. Don't go to the big event saying, I'm preparing for a zombie takeover. Of course, then you look like that apocalyptic nut job, right? Say, hey, I'm honestly just preparing for a natural disaster. Or, hey, this COVID thing's going on. It's absolutely crazy. I'm preparing for the economic downfall like what we experienced during the Great Depression. I just want to make sure my family has more food on the table during that and we're not starving or suffering. And at least that will be able to help alleviate some negativity towards you. So you that's one way you kind of want to back down those naysayers, so to speak. But you'll always have those family members or friends going, hey, if anything happens, man, I'm coming to your house because you're prepared. And that puts you in a very bad situation. Because, I mean, you can honestly, if you say it, you know, what I'm going to say later, you can lose a friendship. You can even lose a family member going, screw you, you're going to do that to me? And, you know, I don't need you. The one thing you can say is, no, you're not coming to my house. If you are not prepared, you're not coming to my house. And if you do, you'll meet resistance. Because the one thing I will never do is risk my family for someone that doesn't care about theirs. Meaning, I'm not going to risk my supplies I've spent my blood, sweat, and tears and money on to feed my family during a crisis, so then you can come over and reap the benefits of that and you've participated and done nothing to help out. During this kind of situation, I don't have a free hand for you. Easy as that. And yes, you'll lose friends and family members over that. Big whoop. Big whoop. Because if they don't understand, then they don't need to be in your life. Simple as that. So that's the talk that you have with them, saying you're not coming over. But what if an unfortunate event does happen, right? An SHTF situation happens, bam, it drops on you. What are you going to do when that problematic family member decides to come over? What if he come over alone with his family? What happens if he decides to come over with a few friends and they are loaded up in multiple vehicles with quite a bit of rifles? What do you do then? Do you meet that resistance with force, or if you're outnumbered, do you leave your location? Or even before all of this happens, do you leave your location, go buy a bit of property that's a little bit further away, to where they go, ooh, I don't want to drive 15 hours to go and take their supplies. We can search somewhere else, much closer. All right? So those are some things you got to think about that problematic family member. Because yes, you have to cut out that person. It's going to be hard. Or what do? Do you allow that family member to come over, and then you take your supply and cut it in half? So now you have 6 months, and you start building up even more. For instead of, say, you have three people in your household, they have three people in their household. So yeah, that's your supply is now cut in half to 6 months. Do you start prepping twice as much in order to get a year's supply so you can prepare for 6 people? Can you do that? Are you willing to do that? Are you already doing that? With not talking to no one, preparing to have more food than necessary just in case you have to bring on the extra people, so to speak. Are you willing to ration things even more out of your year's supply? To ration that year's supply and risk having your kids and your wife or your girlfriend or your husband or your boyfriend or whoever it may be to be hungry all the time. But you rationed it so you can save these other people. What are you willing to do? Because regardless of the situation, it's hard. They've put you in a predicament. Think about it. It's going to be a tough choice. And what makes it even more tough choice is if they don't even say anything. You have that one family member that just shows up. SHTF situation, all of a sudden you have someone driving down your driveway. Are you going to turn them away now? You haven't even mentally prepared to turn away a family member now. Especially that one. What if it's your mom or your dad, your brother or your sister, their family? Have you mentally prepared to turn away the family member that's closer to you? If they show up on your doorstep right there during that SHTF situation and you know they haven't prepared for anything, they don't have anything except for the clothes that they've packed and blankets, and maybe a few things out their pantry if they're smart enough to grab that. In order for you to alleviate that stress, I highly recommend you talk to your family members and your friends that are close by to you right now. Say, hey, why don't you guys listen to FEMA, the Red Cross? Go get preparations for a natural disaster for 3 weeks. Hey, if they're bringing 3 weeks of food over, 3 weeks is better than none. And at that point, they say, wow, that was easy. Or you ask them, like, hey, that's kind of easy getting that amount, huh? Yeah. Why not do 3 months? I mean, that's not that hard either, right? 3 months? Yeah, I can do 3 months. And then you slowly help them mentally trigger them to build and build. So when you have that unwanted guest suddenly just, bam, come over, and you don't know if they have his supplies or not, then, Uncle Tom comes over and say, hey, can I come here? SHTF. Sure, what do you got? Oh, I got 5 months supply of food. Really? Oh yeah, come on in. It's much easier to accept them because you planted that seed and you've helped them go, hey, maybe I should prepare. They might not talk about it until that situation comes around. And then bam, guess what? it makes that decision a lot easier. So that's why I recommend. It's a hard situation, either if you're talking about it before the SHTF or after the SHTF. It's a hard situation to turn around a family member. But for you to make it easier on you, talk to them now. Plant that seed into their mind that, hey, maybe I should prep. And don't go say, hey, you should prep for the zombie apocalypse because that's going to happen. No, say, hey, prep for a natural disaster. You even bring up Katrina. That wasn't no 3-week thing. That was months. So say, hey, that could happen to us. An earthquake can happen. That can be 3 months long because of how destructive it is. So maybe first what you need to do, sister, brother, maybe you need to do 3 weeks, as FEMA says, and then you can expand on that to make sure you're definitely preparing your family. Because I don't want my niece and nephew to be starving and without power or without, a means to be comfortable. So I'm just saying, maybe you should just think about those things. Ease into it. Nothing too big of an event. So that's all I'm going to say about this. I hope you spread the word. And make sure you and your family are well taken care of. The next video I'm going to put out as far as on Wednesday is going to be how to convince the significant other or family member to start prepping. So without further ado, I'm going to end this video. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay strong, stay resilient, shield wall up.